decided he was not the guy for them. One of the most beloved players in the NFL. He was not even born when the Bills. Josh Rosen, a guy who was highly recruited coming out of high school, who was also the first true freshman to ever start at quarterback in a season opener for UCLA, was overlooked, doubted, forgotten, unnoticed, and neglected heading into the 2018 NFL Draft, where he fell all the way to the 10th overall pick, which enraged him and caused him to say his infamous line,
"There were 9 mistakes made ahead of me, and I will make sure over the next decade or so that they will know that they made a mistake."
So let's look at these 9 terrible decisions picked before him. Without further ado, let's start the video. Before we get started, I want to give a quick recap of Josh Rosen's story in 30 seconds. In 2018, Josh Rosen was drafted 10th overall by the Arizona Cardinals. After a year on the Cardinals, they decided he was not the guy for them, so the Cardinals traded him to the Dolphins. Then he lost out on the starting job to Fitzpatrick and was waived a year later on September 4th, 2020. Then, 2 days later, he was signed onto Tampa Bay's practice squad, where he was later signed by the 49ers to back up CJ Beathard for the end of the 2020 season. Now that you're caught up on Josh Rosen's story, let's look at those 9 mistakes. The first mistake, Baker Mayfield, the guy who brought hope to Cleveland. After 13 years without a winning season and 18 years without a playoff appearance, Baker is finally the guy who ends the drought for the Browns. Say what you will about the guy, he has led the Browns to the playoffs and gave them their first winning season since 2007. From 2008 to present time, there's been 20 quarterbacks to start for the Browns. Absolute legends like Colt McCoy to Johnny Manziel all the way to Tyrod Taylor. Baker Mayfield was finally the guy to get it done and bring the Browns a winning season and their first playoff appearance since 2002. The second mistake, Saquon Barkley. The 2018 Rookie of the Year put the world on notice in the biggest market by dominating everything standing in his way. Nobody could slow down Barkley and his quads. During his rookie season, he put up the 12th most fantasy points in a year for the whole 2010s decade. In his 3 seasons so far, he's already put up 2 1,000-yard seasons and a Pro Bowl selection. If it wasn't for being injured, I'm sure he'd be well on his way for another 1,000-yard season and a Pro Bowl. The third mistake, Sam Darnold. Okay, he's not great, but he's still better than Josh Rosen. Darnold was drafted to one of the most dysfunctional franchises in the entire NFL and has been plagued with Adam Gase, who was fired after going 9-23 as the Jets head coach. Not to mention that Darnold has missed a few games due to injury. With no supporting cast, poor coaching, bad ownership, Sam Darnold is still unproven. Along with that, he's still very young. He's younger than Joe Burrow, Daniel Jones, and even Lamar Jackson. He's not great, but still has a lot of potential. The fourth mistake, Denzel Ward. The leader of the Browns secondary has earned a Pro Bowl selection so far in his NFL career and is often regarded as a top 10 cornerback in the NFL. Browns nailed his draft pick and he looks to be a quality starter for the next 10 years. As the #1 quarterback for the Browns, he has allowed an impressive 51.2 completion percentage, along with a 71.1 passer rating. If we take a look at a few other top quarterbacks in the NFL over the past 3 seasons, Denzel Ward tops everyone in this comparison. The fifth mistake, Bradley Chubb. Starting his NFL career off right with 12 sacks, which led all rookies that season, Chubb showed why he was picked in the top 10. Although Bradley Chubb suffered a torn ACL in his 2nd season, he bounced back and made the Pro Bowl in his 3rd. Bradley Chubb is a great piece for the Broncos defense and is a solid draft pick. The sixth mistake, Quinton Nelson. One of the most beloved players in the NFL. In 3 seasons, he has accumulated 3 Pro Bowl selections and 2 All-Pro selections. I would not be surprised if he earned his 3rd All-Pro selection this season. He's arguably the best offensive lineman in the NFL right now. In his 1st season, he played 100% of the Colts' offensive snaps. He then followed that up by playing 97% of the offensive snaps, and then he played 99% of the offensive snaps this year. He is truly the cornerstone of the Colts' offense. The 7th mistake, Josh Allen. Similar to Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen has brought his team hope. The Bills won their first AFC division title since 1995. Josh Allen was the chosen one to take down the Patriots empire. He was not even born when the Bills won their last AFC East title. Bill Belichick was the head coach of the Browns and Tom Brady was a senior in high school. Bills Mafia loves Josh Allen and he's often in the top 5 quarterback discussion. The 8th mistake, Roquan Smith. A player who has been a starter from day one, he's as consistent as you can get with 3 seasons over 100 tackles. This season, he is having a great year, and when comparing himself to another great linebacker, he tops Bobby Wagner in tackles, tackles for loss, sacks, forced fumbles, and interceptions this season. Roquan Smith is a very underrated player and a great draft pick. The 9th mistake, Mike McGlinchey. Another player who has been a starter from day one. Not only does he wear the number 69, but in 2,859 offensive snaps that he has played in, he committed a penalty 14 times. That is 0.5% of the snaps he does results in a penalty caused by him. He did take a step back in performances here and had a very rough 2020, but he still does have something to show for it in his NFL career. Which leads us to pick number 10, Josh Rosen. I think it's hilarious how this has all played out, and please let me know which mistake is the best so far. Make sure you leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and please subscribe while you're down there. I will be posting every single week, so make sure you don't miss out. Thank you for watching.